One of the more painful parts of this recession has been losing homes and people having to move into something smaller, sometimes something considerably smaller. But a Bay Area author who wrote a book on downsizing our lives says that pain can be channeled into a new opportunity.
What's really interesting, I think, when you begin to think about space in a different way, is what is the purpose? Now,
for Sausalito author C.G. Ware, almost everything in her smaller digs has to have more than one purpose. For example, a living room chair is also used for storage.
I keep the cushions, wherever there's space, and I can find them and pull them out and use them.
Ware used to live in a 4,000-square-foot home in Southern California, but when she and her husband relocated to Marin County because of a job change, they moved into a tiny 1,200-square-foot home. She ended up liking the smaller living space eventually and wrote this book, Right-Sizing Your Life, about how to live with less.
Because you accumulate a lot of things in American society, and people are drowning in their possessions. And so when you have to downsize, and if you don't know how to do it, it's just wrenching.
Ware chose to downsize, but in this economy, many people are being forced out of their dream homes and into much smaller rentals by foreclosures and layoffs. Hard as it may seem, Ware says it's important to look at this as an opportunity.
You say, okay, it's a transition. It's not the end of the world. You don't need all the stuff that we all have. I mean, I certainly realized how many sets of dishes can you eat off at one time.
Interfaith minister and yoga instructor Bardette Wardell is in just such a transitional phase. She's part of a growing trend of people downsizing their living space to save money. The recession forced her to leave a large home for this 500-square-foot former pump house for the local water district. She is concentrating on the upside.
This space has a lot of elements where you don't feel closed in. It has windows on all four sides, and the loft has a skylight, so I can actually see the moon and the stars.
The toughest part of the transition is decluttering, deciding what to keep and what will go in storage or to charity or on eBay. For her book, C.G. Ware formulated 3 criteria.
It was finding out what do you love, what do you use, and asking yourself, is what you've got beautiful? Is it sentimental? Is it valuable? And if it's 1 or 2 or 3 of those things, it's probably worth keeping.
Now, Ware says we should avoid the temptation to rent a storage space for that clutter. She says it's just putting off the inevitable. If you don't use it and it doesn't meet those criteria of usefulness, beauty, or value, then it's got to go.
Right. If you haven't used it in a year, maybe you don't need it.
She calls it right-sizing your life rather than downsizing.
Yeah, I like that.